Alright, this is a little video update, more channel update. So I got massive distracted. It just comes handy when you want to procrastinate. So I've got my first student very soon. I have a little meeting at 1 o'clock where I get some lesson and route advice and updates. And then I will be busy most likely till tonight, 8:30. My wife is coming, so no recording. There has to be fighting usual, because otherwise what can you do? What do I do? Before I get to FreeNAS, I fired up Centurion, so just to show you a little bit. FreeNAS will be a little bit delayed. I hope I get to it next week. I just procrastinating, as I said already, and I have to do a few more routes and lesson plans. And yesterday I was driving them up and down. So I kind of redid my lesson 1, lesson 2. Got the lesson 4, which I have to type down. I just want to do some fine-tuning before I do that. However, in between, I mean, don't laugh. So, I mean, yeah, he said flat Earth, but I'm not really, I can't say it's Earth flat or round, you know. Meanwhile, I have a hard time believing anything mainstream is putting out. But this guy here, if you see his videos, like, I'm very convinced that ISS is absolutely not real. Now this sounds funny, and I never thought I would get to that point, but it's actually very easy. If you see the footage, what they do, the glitches in their recording system, and holy moly, there's just so much out. You know, it blows your mind away. I mean, it did with mine. I mean, yeah, you will say, yeah, we can tell because you show us something like that. No, really, honestly, it blew my mind off. I said, okay, what the heck is going on here? I mean, really? So this guy here, if you just see that, I can upload that. So they say it's allowed to upload this. If you want me to upload the ones I like, which are very interesting, let me know. It's just not my content. It's from this guy, and I think he does a wonderful job. He makes it in a nice music video, but with all the evidence showing. Not all the evidence, but the most evident evidence. You know, wow. Yeah, just wow. I mean, it still blows my mind away. And that helps me procrastinating, but on the other hand, it paralyzes me. You know, thinking how far do they go, and you know, I mean, yes, you will get ridiculed if you say something about that, but that's the same. Then on the other hand, how do I get there? I watched a video where somebody said, is Google listening? And he made a little test, and yes, later on he made in this test a little mistake. I mean, the first mistake was he ran Google browser on Windows 10. Yeah, what the heck? Windows 10 is made to spy. It's a spy malware system, right? What Microsoft puts on computers. And people pay for it. People pay for it. Just imagine this. Could you please put a virus on my system? I'll pay you dearly for it. Sure, I will do. Here you have a nice Windows 10. Sign the contract. Don't read the EULA. Just click OK. Yeah, I mean, that is already ridiculous what's going on, right? Yeah, but if I cannot play that video. I tried. When I played here, I tried Basilisk, I tried Chromium. It can't mix. So I have disturbing noises in it, so you can't really hear. It sounds almost like the bass, but that's ridiculous. I know my voice is clear here on this recording. I played around a little bit with OBS. You see I've got only mic aux on. I changed in the audio mixer stuff, but I just can't get it recording properly. But that seems to be a common problem I have in the moment, because I tried it with VLC and playing a music file that did the same thing. I have to play around, but I just don't want to in the moment, because I soon have to prepare and go out for the meeting and come back, do some writing. At 3:30 I have to go out again, and then I will be driving with my students till at least 8 o'clock, and I hope I'm doing well. You know, the thing is, every first day or every time we have to do something like that, it's in my opinion, it's terrible. You know, every first day in a new job seems to be terrible, because you just don't know how, you know, the basics, or you know the principles, but putting that in place, getting a routine takes a moment, right? And it wasn't helping that they blow my mind away that we get lied, deceived. And I mean, I knew that from wargaming and Microsoft. Yeah, that's normal, you know. And they go away with every crime. I mean, at least Microsoft does, right? But now, if you see that space station is fake, and when I saw the space station, I thought already, you know, when they have the hair standing up, that should give you the impression they are in zero gravity space or whatsoever. But then he moves his hair to the left, and the hair keeps standing and turning the same speed and not bending or anything. So is there no more momentum? You know what I mean? So there were things already I figured out on my own where I said, you know, this is weird. This is just not adding up. And when he kind of makes a loop when he stands, how does this work? How is the gravity axis of his body at the belly button? I did not know. I thought if you try to, you know, to turn around, you will bubble around most likely. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's so for me personally, I came to the conclusion that the whole space stuff seems to be a hoax. I mean, a very, very, very expensive hoax. You know, this that's the best scam ever. That is better than we're calling you for Microsoft. You know, while you're running Linux, obviously. You have a problem with your computer. I think I have a problem with my TV. I hardly look TV anymore because all the TV shows are, getting more and more disgusting. Music, you can forget about that too. It's holy moly. I mean, the things you can do now with electronics, they get limited because it's just all rubbish, huge pile of rubbish coming out. And I mean, does Google listen? Yeah, they do. And I mean, you can't run that test on a Windows 10 computer. I mean, this is built spyware. Malware, spyware as an operating system. You know, they built the malware and spyware and said, no, we need something to run it, so they built an operating system. And Microsoft Linux. Holy moly. Hey guys, you have to be so carefully that Microsoft does not get their fingers in Linux. We should really be on our toes to make sure if Windows releases anything, even just a notepad editor, that is not calling home, like, you know, the first Word product they got out, the word processor they built, was just spyware, malware spyware, right? Just call home and tell Microsoft what you just did. Well, what the heck? And how come there wasn't? Why did they never get to prison? Like, you know, Mattel did that in a Barbie doll and put their wireless chip and listening to the kids' conversations. And when they get caught, say, oh yeah, we just wanted to have a good user experience. We wanted to improve it. So if I make a bug in Trump's or Trudeau's or Putin's house and they catch me and they, you know, I just wanted to know the real thoughts that I can support this man properly. What the heck? Do you think I get away with that? Yeah, I get away. I get to prison with that. Holy moly. Justice is not only blind, she seems to be deaf too. You know? Yeah. I mean, in a moment, I'm just totally mind blown away of the amount of lies, deceiving, crooked environments where we are living on. You have to be careful, you know. But I had to vent that out. I mean, my mind is still blowing away here. It is just, you can't ignore that. You know, it's flat or round. I don't figure that out so quick. But do I know one thing? Is the space station fake? Yeah, 100%. Even the moon landing, that was already, I mean, yeah, the Apollo computer hasn't had the power of your cell phone yet. You know, there's just too much not adding up. I know this sounds totally funky and weird, because that's what it does to my mind, because I grew up with everything you grew up, right? So I learned all the lies, and yeah, um, it's like Jean-Luc Picard in Starship Enterprise, right? Fighting the Borgs. Just the Borgs are on Earth. They're doing computer animation and lie to the teeth to us, right in our faces, and make us pay billions of dollars for that. That's a good scam. Holy moly. Yeah, so I'm blown away with that. Centurion. Let me see. So, yeah. You see, I haven't fired that up here on this one here, so I have to go to advanced, because I have a self-build certificate. So that is how it looks like. Of course, I don't want that remembered from anybody else. So this is, let me make that bigger. That's my Centurion, which Centurion is a 2009 Mac Mini. And I've got two 1 terabyte hard drives in it, and I run the operating system on two USB sticks in the back as UEFI. Of course, how else? Boot. Boot volumes. You don't see the volumes yet. Size 7.3 gigabyte, use 2.2. And they're mirrored, right? So, can you see them? Not here yet. Information, can you see it here? General. American, Chicago. Boot. Status. Yeah, there you can see it, you see? So these are my two USB sticks, and they're mirrored. So if one fails, sometimes I had that with an update that one failed. I just had it, they call it in ZFS resilvered, which means synchronizing the stuff, the good version to the bad version, and then it just fixed it itself. So I didn't even have to replace the USB stick. On the other hand, you get USB sticks for $5 now, so you just buy two, pop them in, and job done. And I go and get there, and I show us really step-by-step guide how to do this. I haven't run the update yet. You can see I still have the old interface. I saw the new interface. I'm, typical human. I don't like changes too much. So general boot. So you see I still have the old one. On reboot. No, I don't. I don't want to. Status is all doing good. You see online. Here it would tell you if there's trouble. It would already show you here. It would be blinking red, which is neat. So let's go system again. We have advanced, system data C, dset, syslog, trust me is my data set pool. Turnables. Usually I have some on. I didn't do it here, then I see. I can update, verify, install. So I'm not doing this now. Apply pending update. I do that when I do run my serious FreeNAS video. Cloud credentials. What do we have here? No entry. Alert services. Alert certificates. Yeah, I did my own one here from first class service. Certificates. CA is where you produce them. That's the certificate itself. Support. I'm not there yet. System. We had that. Tasks. So I've got some cron jobs here. Because I had trouble when I copied data that it was write protected. So all I did is I did a cron job where it just gets permanent the ownership to 777777777, so that everybody can play around, right? So that happens every hour. It doesn't really put strain on your hard drive whatsoever. Init shutdown script don't have async task. I had something because Centurion was talking to TARDIS, and TARDIS has only a 100 megabits network card. So you can imagine if you want to copy 2 terabyte, that takes time, and I don't want to sit here. So all I did is then, I can go edit here. Ooh, I could run it now, which is not working. So I set that up here, pull and run up. But I go in deeper detail with that too, because this can be deceiving. I had to do try and error, of course. It's not enabled now because I don't want it to run. Daily update, preserve permissions, that's what I wanted, compress, because I just have 100 megabits there. The Mac Mini has already a 1 gigabyte network card, that is cool. I'm reluctant to buy one for TARDIS because I think TARDIS will be fading out earlier or later. TARDIS is having 4 2 terabyte hard drives running in FreeNAS 2, and I think I will use the 4 2TB hard drives in a different NAS or in a NAS extension for my DS218 Plus. So, having said this, rsync over SSH. But I go in detail here, and I think I will show how it looks like when it runs, but not now because my mind is still bubbling. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Short self-test here, smart test, I've got that running. You see on the first 7/14 strand. So every 7 day, I'll let this run, so that I know if something goes wrong with my hard drives, I get a message. So that was test network. Here we go. That's my Centurion. Domain is local. I really didn't do anything here. I did before, especially with the interface, and with the NIC, I got in trouble. Once I changed my router, even though I used my same IP addresses, I had trouble. Link aggregation, I just don't have it. Network summary, this is how it looks like. You see that you have access to me, to that. 149, yeah, that's Centurion now. Default route, that's my router in the moment. The name server, of course, the router. Statics route, I didn't do any of those, no VLANs. That was network. Storage, here it's getting more interesting. So, as you can see, I'm in a volume, and I call it Trust Me. I'm surprised. So, and Trust Me is the volume name. And where do I go? I'll go in Volume Manager maybe to show you. Does it show? No, it does not show. I have to go in Volumes, View Disks. Let me go and View Disks first here. So these are my two USB drives, the 8 GB, and they're running the operating system. That is it, right? So they're mirrored in Miro 0, yeah, mirror, ZFS mirror. And these are like a bunch of disks, extended. So I'm using 2 TB here instead of 1 TB mirrored with safety, so that if one hard drive dies, I can still do something. They have been very reliable. The 2.5 inch, of course, they're in a Mac Mini, right, in a small one. I bought an extension thing for instead of the CD-ROM drive, I have a case holding a SATA hard drive. And because I want to have them mirrored again, so that I have redundancy in case one drive gives me trouble, I have to move my jails. If we go back to jails here, so jails. If you can see, sorry, I'm jumping around here. So that's my Plex media driver, that's Sonar, ZAP, NZBD, NZBGAT, Radar, Plex. So I played around with these to see who's doing what and how they're doing it. So Plex is running, this Plex media server is running too. Because one I installed in with the plugins, and one other one I just installed in a jail. I created a jail and installed it there, and I think I did the same with Radar and some other stuff. I can show you how that goes, and I think I should do that if you guys are interested, so let me know. That's jails, right? And they are sitting on storage. You see, Plex media server is in Plex, trust me, Plex. So now it sits on Plex, and that BG sits on Plex, Plex sits on Plex, Radar, that's Plex movies, that's a source. And destinations, media, Plex, media, mounted, true, false. Templates, don't have templates, configuration. That is where my jail sits. It is in mount, trust me, jails, right? So, and you cannot just change this, say, okay, you know what, I put an extended hard drive, browse, go to the extended hard drive and set it somewhere else, and then hooray, when everything is back, I just put it back. No, this is not moving your jail. This will destroy your jails. Not really destroy, you can go back and then it will work again. But that's not how you move jails. I mean, it's a little bit more copy and paste work, guys. I will make it so easy. You can just copy and paste and it will move. There's just to understand from where to where. That's the only thing, It's like when you change you add a user to the group and I give you that as copy and paste, you have to use your username, right? So you have to use your destination, you have to use your source. That's all what is coming there. That's not a big deal. So we were in storage, right? Let's go back here. So I got a volume called Trust Me. It shows double. Then I have a data set called data, and in that I have a folder backup. Then I've got local download images, jails, all this stuff. Jails are here, and that we get Plex, blah blah blah, and Plex templates. So I played around a lot. Periodic snapshots, I had them on, I switched them off. Attention per snapshot doesn't require to create a blob. Yeah, you have to do that in order to get resilver priority. So, because resilvering will slow your hard drives down, sometimes it can even take them out while it's resilvering. I had both situations in my life here with FreeNAS. One time I could still work with it, and the other time it was resilvering and it was incapable of letting it work. Not a big deal. So you can prioritize that and say, you know what, screw the resilver priority, I want it at nights when I sleep. But trust me, resilvering can take a long time. Depends on your terabytes you're using, right? So scrubs 35 days, I let it scrub every day of a month, blah blah blah, Sunday, true. Snapshots, I had a few, I still have, I put it for my jails just in case if I screw something up. These are manual ones, I had them automatically, I deleted them, so I don't want it anymore. It's too much. I don't do VMware. I still don't know why I would use a VM on a NAS station. I haven't worked that out yet. So that was storage, right? Directories. So here is LDAP, NIS, Kerberos, Realms, Kerberos, key tabs. Kerberos, I think it's more your Active Directory if you want one, right? LDAP, Active. Not played around with that too much. Sharing, here's where the rubber hits the road. I use Windows SMB, and you see I'm sharing the data set from the volume, trust me, the data set, and I have a backup folder, and I have a data folder, and I have a Plex. So here's my videos, here's my data like documents, pictures, videos, blah 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 blah. Here's family videos and stuff like that. I don't have WebTAF running here, I didn't use the NFS, and I don't use Apple AFP. That was sharing. This is just a little overview. It looks a lot, it really isn't. It's quickly set up. Don't let that, how can I say this, frighten you here. It looks a lot, it has lots of functions, but you don't have to use them all at once. So you have to do a simple setup, get your Windows shares, and then you can start adding some plugins. If you can't get it as plugin, you just create a jail. I'll show that all how that goes. It's not a big deal. And FreeNAS, I must say, it's a rock solid, amazing operating system using a rock solid, amazing ZFS file system. Downside is the ZFS file system, as great as it is absolutely rock solid. It's an amazing file system, I can just say. It takes tons of RAMs and uses quite some CPU power. Otherwise, if you have that, it's totally fine. And then it depends what you do, right? If you run a virtual machine, I think that will really pull it over the top. So, well, I just don't know. What would I run in a virtual machine? What I would need it for? I just don't know yet. So services, Duran, you have to switch on your services. Like, I have them auto running. I've got Smart Auto running. I've got SMB running, and I've got SSH running. And yeah, I go in greater detail to this because SSH usually is set up that you can't go in as root, but sometimes you really need root rights, stuff like that. I don't want any sudo users, so I don't have that set up. I switch temporary root on, then I can go in as root, do my thing, and go back and switch root off. That's what I do usually. And what else? Oh, there was just something popping up in my mind, what you got to do here. It will all come back when I guide you guys through with this. Not a big deal. Totally easy. Very nice. Plugins. Here's where the rubber hits the road again. So available plugins. There are not too many, you would say, but you can do a lot. They have their jails. They don't have Docker yet, but I do believe, I mean, yes, you can install Docker on FreeBSD, and then you can install it on FreeNAS too if you want to. So there's Bakula, network backup solution. I'm not using it. Couch Potato, I checked that too. Crash Plan, I don't have it. MB, I tried, it works. Firefly, I think, I don't know. I looked into it, but I didn't try. I don't use headphone, HTPC, full responsive interface to manage all your favorite software on your HTPC. I don't know. Lazy Librem, that could be okay, I guess. MineOS never did. Nextcloud I did. NZB Hydra I didn't. OwnCloud I did. Plex Media Server I tried. Resilio I tried. Not Resilio, I used Sync, which is the same. That's the paid version, that's the free version, I guess. Then Zap NZBD I tried, SigBird I tried, SigRage I tried, Sonar I tried, Subsonic I did not, Transmission I used. It's actually nice. then you can use the remote control you have. So you can upload plugins if you have. Here it shows you installed, and it will show you what I got installed. See, I got Plex, I've got Zona, I've got Zap and ZBD. I switched them all off. That switches the jails off too. And but this is just, you've seen I have more. I had NZBGet and some other stuff, another Plex media server, and I had that just in my jails configuration. Here are the repository files. So don't touch it. Jails. Jails is a good thing, because if somebody hacks your Zap NZBD, yeah, he get access to this jail, but it's like fake root. You know, they're in the middle of nowhere. And usually, as much as I understand, there's no way out. It's the best sandbox you can get. That's, to me, jails. If somebody gets in, yes, he's in the fake root system, you know. So he got your Zap NZBD, oh yeah, boo-hoo. Who cares? But you see, I've got quite some more things, and I run them in jails. I stopped them in a moment because I have my Zonology disk station doing the most. This worked flawless. They, like Zap NZBD had to talk to Sonar or to NZBGet on Radar. So they talk to each other. It's all working nicely. Storage. That's what I gave them as storage, right? They need to know. Where do I find my data? Where do I put it? So all the typical question. Templates, don't have one configuration, do not touch. This, as I said, you can't just change that. It won't work. It's not really doing anything. Advanced won't do anything for you either. I don't know if the new system has the moving function. I doubt that very much. VMs, no idea. What would you run as a VM on a NAS? But does somebody use it, and what for do you use it? I have no idea. Reporting system. This is not that you report, team killers to wargaming, which is you can write a piece of paper and throw it in a bin. That would do too. That is as much as the customer, or how far the customer service goes, and then you get warnings, like there would be my mom at wargaming. Holy moly! So that shows you CPU, system load, CPU temperature, then disk. It shows you a little bit usage, memory usage. Of course, it goes up. I have only 4 GB here, and the shared graphic card with an NVIDIA graphic card in it. Swap utility, so it's using everything to max, but that's how it is. Activities, here's where it actually really is, but that's all available. Network, there you can see your data flying back and forward when you, like the rsync, what I used to send or copy data over from TARDIS, kind of pulled it over here to Centurion. Then you can see if it's still running, because there are no real indicators telling you. So you just go here and report, look at your network traffic, and then you see. Partition, I don't touch it. The system, that just gives you some information here, see? Uptime, I just got up. Target, okay. ZFS, that is giving you a little idea what ZFS is doing, in bytes and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting, but you have to go deeper in ZFS in order to understand what it is doing. Wizard, you go straight to hell for using Wizardcraft, Harry Potter. English, console, keyboard, American, so that would be your system setup, I guess. Guide, so here's a manual, stuff like that. And what you found over here is here too. And it's a little bit more in detail here for sharing, if you want to go to your Windows shares, that's where you do the main work. Here it won't work. It shows you, but it doesn't really, that's where the work happens here on the left side. That is for now. I have no idea how they see just one plugin here. But many jails, Plex Radar and that we get. No idea how the new system looks like. I will run an update, and I will run it on TARDIS. This is Centurion, and I will run it on TARDIS and see how that goes. And then we will see how the new one looks like. So is it true running auto guests? No, of course not. It's already backup Centurion data and Plex. And if I go in my browser network, here's Centurion. Let's go in the Windows network if it shows up. I hope it does. Did I click it? Because sometimes it takes a moment. No, I clicked it. Workgroup, Centurion, Duran. There it is. You see what you can see here? Backup, Centurion data, Plex. These are my Windows shares. I used Windows SMB. I might have to use something else because I really don't use Windows. The only one who does is my wife. And thanks to Windows 10, I think she get healed soon, so that she doesn't do it anymore, which would be great. So yeah, it works just fine. It's if you want, everybody can do it. You don't have to have tons super powers. The TARDIS has 4 2TB hard drives. One drive is redundancy. I run it on 2 USB sticks. It has only USB 2, so it takes time to boot up, but it boots in RAM and then it's just fast and responsive. I have 5 GB RAM in it, and it's a dual-core CPU. I believe I can fly. Intel Core 2 Duo CPU 7350, 2 GHz. Oh, sorry, that is my Mac Mini, but that's the same what you will find here on TARDIS. But that will be most likely the next video I do. And then we run the update and we'll see how FreeNAS has changed the interface. I like that interface a lot. So, you know, guys, I'm not really happy when people change things which are good. You know, don't it's not broken, don't fix it. So you can have the shell here on the bottom or there. No, don't want it. Log out, reboot, shut down. And this is it, that's your whole thing. And don't let it intimidate you, because it just looks one time like that. And it's new, that's why it looks intimidating, because you don't know. There is nothing to be afraid of, because we do step by step. You know, of course, if you want to go everything at once, it blows your mind, you know. And but it doesn't have to. We go step by step setting it up, and you will be impressed because it boots up, it runs, it is 100% reliable. You're not going to lose your data if you have a mirror system. Mirror your boot drive, mirror your system, right, and mirror your hard drives. And then I show you, they're a little bit in storage here. Mine are all encrypted. So, edit options, create data set, change permission. No, that's not what I want. I think I have to go in import volume view disks. Edit. No. Oh, you know, now I'm tricking myself here. Storage. There it is. So that is my volume here, and you can see create passphrase, download key, encrypt rekey, add recovery key, and remove recovery key. And then here is volume status, and scrub volume and delete, right, or detach. So volume status, let's have a look. That's how it looks like, and yeah, edit disk. Can I edit it? How does it look like? Always on, looks good. Don't touch it, delete it. But back to the storage. When I had to rebuild my system, one time I rebuilt FreeNAS, totally new on my USB stick, but I had my old 4 2TB hard drives, and I do have some encrypted. So you take them out, it's good for nothing because it won't help you. So I downloaded these keys, root password, but otherwise they don't let you, right? So I downloaded my key, and then I just had to upload my key. When I run the system, and in the system you go, it will get all your stuff, and then it will find these drives, but it will ask you for the encryption key, because it says if you want to have it, you got to have the encryption key, otherwise you're not getting the hard drives. And it's totally easy too, and it's I think it's very safe. I do not believe, you know, some YouTuber made a statement, he said, oh, I encrypted my whole drive. If you hack it, you copy paste a picture from my computer to yours, it's encrypted. And no, that's not how encryption works. It's encrypted on the fly. So if I click on something here, it's encrypted. If you hack in this computer and you click on something, you're like on the computer. That means you get a decrypted file over to your computer, right? If you remotely are in it. And I heard that because a friend of mine, he knows. Right? However, having said this, that is how it looks like. I'm still on the old system. I will fire up, I will shut that down now. I will fire up TARDIS. And not now, I will make a proper video. I need a little bit more time. And I think on Monday I have the time to do that. Monday or Tuesday I'm going to do a proper installation video. I do that on VirtualBox so that you can follow step by step. Then we're going to set up volumes. I use Windows shares, okay? I mean, you can use all the other shares. The same principle applies. It's really not a big deal. But most of us, we still have some people addicted to Windows stuff or whatever. And so you can just copy paste it there too, so you won't have any trouble. Later, I could show you a little bit the SSH stuff, because if you go and work with jails yourself, you might have to transfer your data over, right? You want to have your, let's say, zap nzbget, or no, nzbget, you want to run that. You have to copy it over into the jail you want to be in. And I'll show you how to change jails once you're on in root on FreeNAS, on the system. And how to do all the stuff. And I can only say already, Midnight Commander is your friend, MC. It's a very useful, powerful tool, and it's great. And it will help you so much. It just helps you so much, you know. And forget about these SSH copy commands, you know, SSH, CP, blah, 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 blah. Forget about it. Just use Midnight Commander. It makes your life so much easier. All you need to do is you put your IP in, your username, and your password, and you have file manager, which works just great. So that was lots of talking, wasn't it? No, are we still here? Are you Centurion? Are you with me? No. Oh yeah, it's off. Yeah, it's done. That was it for Centurion. So, having said all this, guys, I'm a little bit sorry to let you guys without any content really here, but I was procrastinating. First I was driving some routes. I did run route 1, 2 and 4. 3 I get some advice today. In 1.5 hours I will get it. Then I have to write something down. Once I did this, I have to go out and see my students. 3 in a row. And 8:30 latest I will be home. My wife will be here. Usually the first night is good, and then fighting would start on Saturday. Sunday, sometimes, most of the time, we smoothen the edges. It's getting to be okay. Yeah, and then Sunday she travels back, and she won't come next weekend, but the weekend after she comes for a few more days. But until then, we're already up and running with FreeNAS, and yeah, you can ask questions. What I can help, I will. But the FreeNAS forum is great too, and you know how I test. I get in with blazing guns. That's the best way to test a community. I mean, I'm sorry guys, but that's the best way to test a community. If you want to know if a community is okay, is helpful, willing to help, and not fighting you for not knowing, I go in with blazing guns. And that's showing even more character, right? Because some bite back, but they still want to help and help. And that's the most important. In every Linux, BSD operating system, you know, test the community, because that makes a huge decision. And yeah, for example, my example with MX is in MX16. I said, well, I can't use Etcher, it didn't work, blah blah blah, and back and forward, and I don't know why it really worked, but it just didn't. And they put an image writer on, Dran, which I use now with the mothership with Antiques, which is running on my Pocket Bell. And as much as I like my calculated Linux, and I don't want to give it up, that's for sure. No, I'm not doing that's the best system. Yes, it is, but I'm not advertising it so much. It's a good system to me, and I hope everybody who's using it finds it reliable, snappy, as I do. But the thing is, for my old laptop, Antiques does a really good job. It doesn't run my Viber. I did my typical Viber trick, and it installed it, but now it just crashed. It just crashed. So Viber is not so important. If Viber thinks it's not important to update their Linux binaries to install their system, then you know, Telegram it is. And just do something else. You know, if Viber doesn't need customers, then that's okay too, right? However, having said this, because we got the power, right? So don't buy Windows games, buy them for Linux, and you get more Linux games. Though, yeah, and Fluxbox. I like Fluxbox. Fluxbox is my i3 go-to for lazy people. I don't have to edit config files to make applications when I fire them up to fire up at a certain workspace in a certain position with a certain dimension. I can set that up the way I want in Fluxbox, at least how Antix set it up. And then I just say remember the position, remember the workspace, and remember the dimensions I chose. And next time I fire it up, everything is where I want it to be. And the only thing is I have to manually create workspaces. But that's a hurdle, a package I'm ready to carry. It's still less work than editing all these files, I guess. Having said this, one day I hope I will have the time and patience. I would like to see i3 working, because I do believe the workflow must be amazing once you are used to it. I'm not used to it, and I just don't have the time. I do new stuff to me, and then you always get cold feet because you do it the first time. Then you say, oh, I don't know, can I do it? Do I do it right? And you stumble around, but make things work. And next time, of course, gets much smoother. And so work is more important than playing with computers. So I like to stay in these times with what I'm used to, so that my computer is helping me, not in my way. If I want the computer my way, I just run Windows. Then get Microsoft. If you want to be taken for a ride, use Microsoft. Okay, everybody knows I'm telling the truth here. That's actually, sadly, it is so sad but true. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was my, I don't know how long I'm recording here, already 5 minutes? I guess so. Where's the timer? Ooh, that's a little long. See, sometimes you get no videos and then you get a longer video. I know it started a little bit odd, but no kidding, guys. My mind is still twisted of what I saw. I mean, I had my own suspicion because it just didn't look right. There were too much not adding up. And I tried to find excuses for that. But now the evidence is so big, why would you ever watch? I mean, NASA it's they're always lied, they're always deceived. I'm not watching usually anything from NASA. I'm not interested what they're saying. Why would you believe somebody? It's like Microsoft. If somebody lies to you in such an amount, with such a routine, with no remorse, no, how can I say this? Human feelings, social responsibility, social intelligence. All that doesn't seem to be there. So why waste your time and breath to talk to somebody like what for? I don't really read it. I don't want to know it. I don't want to know what they say, because it's all lies. It's all lying. So I don't spend my time with liars. I have no time for those people or creatures, whatever they are. I don't know. I don't care. So, having said this, I have to put my tinfoil hat on to get covered here. I'm making jokes but guys, I am convinced that the space station is purely fake. It is purely fake. Absolutely fake. And the flat Earth, I haven't eaten that yet, but what I see, what people show, it makes no sense. It's a curvature. I mean, I have my own little plane, I have to go up again and check that out. I mean, I have to climb up, but just go. I'm not flying maybe next week I go out. I will just go up maybe 4,000 or 5,000 feet and just have a look again. I mean, I'm living in Manitoba. Here everything is flat. We are the inventor of flat. From 1,000 kilometers from here, where I live, to, let's say, to Thompson, the elevation goes up by 100 feet? 200 feet? I don't know, is it 200 feet if at all? That's all there is. It just doesn't. We have no elevation. So, yeah, at the moment we have tons of clouds flying around here, and you see that's what we have. Drizzle, mist, local ceilings, very low. Yeah. That's just what it is. And very, very windy, of course. Do we have turbulences? We should have, you see from surface on to even to 2,000 feet. We have mechanical turbulences. That's just the wind blowing all over, and it's pretty windy. And in the moment it's a tailwind, so if my wife comes down here, bzzz, she will have a nice tailwind, which is pretty cool. Icing conditions still, look at this, at 3000 to 6000, moderate. Oh, I don't want to get there. But you see, 3000 is not pretty high. So, and then here 4000. Yeah, always check GFAs. So, having said this, oh, here's my GFAs. I cut that video off. Somebody replied something. Let's see what you see. Yeah, I wish I could speak French. I mean, I had French. I have some social French, some business French, but that's not good enough for communication, really. I loved France. I was in France for a while, just in holidays and stuff like that, and of course Turafel and things like that. Nowadays, I don't want to go anymore to any places. I mean, I was in Santa Monica, which is a tiny village, 200 kilometers away from the Spanish border. It is not even on a map, and it was great. Yes, of course, first I was a Nazi because they didn't know me, but later when I broke the ice, I had really good contacts there, and of course I had to talk with pen and paper with them, and it worked out nicely. So yeah, my few words French helped me too, I guess. So yeah, so not too many people are interested in antiques, but guys, I think you're missing out. No, I mean, not kidding. Yeah, and antiques on old equipment, like who was it? One of my subscribers. He made a video about old hardware running. I mean, a 2017 computer on a very underpowered computer. He's running some Linux versions. Is he not here anymore? I don't know. I just saw his video about it. He has an old computer running on very low specs, so he didn't put the webcam on. Ghosty. Yeah, Ghosty. Something Ghosty. And yeah, I would trust that antiques. I'm very impressed. And Fluxbox, it's easy to get around with. You see, i3 is difficult because all you have is your terminal, black screen. And you need to have the keystrokes and stuff like that, all these little things. And for antiques, I showed you guys, to make it more usable or easier for me, I used Planck. I used just a docky or a dock. I used Planck, put it on the left side because we all have the 16:9 screen. I mean, that laptop doesn't. It's a tiny 15.4, very old laptop, 13 years old. But I've got my Planck on the left side. I've got my browser, Thunderbird, stuff like that. LibreOffice writer and stuff like that running. It's doing good. Yeah, it's really doing good. And I think for that old hardware, it's a perfect system. Fluxbox is very low on resources. Debian is stable. As I said, you can't go vanilla Debian because of the community. It's just not worth it. So I can only say, if you want to go Debian, go MX17 or go Antiques. If you want to have a little bit outer space experience. Well, it's a good experience, I must say. I am impressed. You know that when I say that it's very good. And then there would be Solid XK. There are some other good things out. Oh, let's have a look. I mean, that video is anyway long. I don't know who's watching it to the end. It's more of the entertaining. Distro watcher. Entertaining side here, and a little bit FreeNAS show. That is over for now. And next time we'll actually. What? We're going in better detail. So, Ubuntu Studio, is that already out now? 1804, Duran. Yeah, my advice is Linux Lite. Yeah, my advice is, if you go Ubuntu, don't update yet if you have it running. Wait and see and watch people and their struggles. As I said, I had Ubuntu running. Linux Mint Ubuntu gave me weird stuff on my hardware. And as I said, Ubuntu, I think I updated the 16.04 to the 17 version once, and that just screwed me totally over. So no, thank you. Kubuntu would be a thing I would like to look into. But as I said, KDE, they call now things stable, which I would call not even testing. They're just not good enough for Debian testing. what they call long-term release, from KDE. Butchie or Bachi, where's the difference between GNOME and Bachi? I couldn't really find it. I mean, yeah, you have your settings in the right window, but what? You still have the same wannabe file manager? I just couldn't get familiar with it. And in my opinion, it wasn't worth it. Mate, could still be. That GNOME thing, I think Ubuntu shot themselves in a knee. Well, big time. I don't think anybody will really like what they tried to do here. I mean, what the heck did they try? It's like that system, blah blah blah, computer company putting this Bob Ubuntu on. What the heck? I mean, honestly, if you have too much money and resources, you just throw it out of the window. So, having said all this, let me see if the devil servant is coming up here. He's coming up. I cannot. I mean, Mint. Yes, I can understand that they're on the top because on the most hardware, it's functioning really good. This, I have no understanding why that is so high. I mean, that I tried it. This was the go-to to me. Antergos, that in my opinion should be here. That one, I don't know how it gets there. I mean, don't call me Lenny. He was, Manjaro, until he wasn't anymore. And he was recommending it, and he felt really bad that he did because all of a sudden, it did the Arch thing to him. But in the end, it's Arch. And all they do is making it green, and that was it. And so Antergos, they have their own little things running on it. Not too much, but you still have a very good Arch install. Solus is coming up. I like to see that. That's not too bad. Debian is good. Fedora, I liked it too. It's just too short living for me every year. TrueOS, I think GhostBSD should be right here. But that's my opinion. MX, yeah, very good. OpenSUSE, no. They have let me down that big time, and other people. No help. Black screen, no help. No forum, no help. Nobody. Antiques, yay! That's nice to see. Arch, yeah, Arch is good. I'm happy that the Arch guys are so in their stuff that they test our software. CentOS, yeah, absolutely rock solid. Light was good to me too. Kideo Neon, no way. Deepen. Yeah, I haven't seen if they made their statement and said, sorry guys, okay, we are changing it. Being sorry is one thing, or changing it would be doing it. I haven't seen that yet. Endless, it's still an interesting. Peppermint, yeah, I do run my games on it in a moment. Let's say with the hybrid system, they don't have the glitches like Ubuntu put on my hardware or Linux Mint. Even Linux Mint did it with Cinnamon, which I liked on Linux Mint, I must say. But that's the only system where I liked Cinnamon. So, yeah, I liked it. But I had these weird glitches, so I couldn't have it. I spoke about that in some videos, with Linux Mint on the HP Pavilion for my wife. I had this wireless bug, dropping the network, not showing any more than it does and it doesn't, and I can't have that. And Linux Mint, yeah, that was Linux Mint. Ubuntu did weird stuff to me too. Too many glitches. Mageia was nice. Slugware, yeah, I know people know my rant video, and yes, I was ranting about it because my expectations are high. It was doing okay. As I said, I was running it for quite some time on the HP laptop, but then my wife needed it back, so she has it back. So I'm waiting for now the next school year that she gets a new computer, new laptop, and that will be mine. The old one most likely. Redcore, Ubuntu, yeah. FreeBSD, good too. Slux, I can't say anymore, I can't remember. Debian is the better version of Debian because you don't have any more systemd. Gentoo, of course, because Calculate Linux is based on Gentoo. Buddy, no idea. Sabayon, I mean, I haven't found anybody yet who had a good experience with Sabayon. I don't know. How do they get there? Cubes, that's an interesting idea. I wish I could see that running and working fine. Kubuntu, okay, Netrunner was good. Chaos, Red Hat, Arch, bang. Gnopix, that was one of the very old Linux distributions I used which worked. And here's Calculate, still on 63. How is that happening? There should be more up. Triskel is going up in a moment. GhostBSD is down here too. I don't know. Even Dragonfly is good. I don't know. All these what I like, and I must say here even SolidXK. Proteus was good to me. OpenBSD should do the same. I mean, there's so much stuff what I like. On Corora, that was a beautiful system. I have no idea why all these good software is on the bottom. I'm not saying Debian needs to be pushed away, or Mint, or Ubuntu, not Ubuntu, yes, or Antergos, or Fedora, or True. Yeah, to MX, but it should be more here in this area. I don't know how that works. Well, I know now, I don't know. Alright guys, I cut that video off, it's short enough. What is that? What's new? YouTube Creator Awards. I don't want any of those, you know. I'm using the system as long as it works, and then it's okay. And as much as I can influence it, there won't be any advertisements on it. Alright. Okay guys, that video is already almost 10 minutes. I have to cut it off. And I hope you like it. It was just a little update, what I do, what I did. I don't even know how to call that video now. A little bit FreeNAS overview. And how it's going to be in the future, which continues, and I hope it will be entertaining and useful, and with some tutorials. Okay guys, have a good day, have a nice weekend, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Bye bye.